This is Blue Heaven, the official Dodgers Nation podcast. This is definitely the first time we did this because we didn't have a false start earlier. Please subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, anywhere you listen to podcasts, or you can go on DodgersNation.com and listen to us or watch us.
And interact live.
With us on Facebook, on Twitter, on
Periscope,
and other things like
Twitch,
that.
YouTube.
Yes, YouTube.
Yeah, I think
TwitchTube.
those are all of them.
Go look at us at TwitchTube.
Yeah, watch us Twitch.
Also, lemonparty.org. You can find us there as well.
Ooh.
Okay. I am Kevin, at Kev is your friend, on Twitter and Instagram.
And I am Fat Ryan Gosling, also known as FRG, also known as Clint. I am real FRG on the Twitters and the Instagrams.
Now, before we got caught off, you were talking about your fancy new $300 haircut.
$3 billion. No, we're talking about that would make Sal look bad. Sal, my good pal Sal. Better call Sal over there.
Better call Sal.
Yeah, Sal's barbershop in Whittier. They've been there for hell a long time. His pop opened it and all that. So I had to get my my thrice a year trim today.
Yeah,
because we turned 30. So
we did.
Know,
so now
30th
we have to
episode.
Look young and
spry
sexy and
virile.
svelte. Yes, young and virile.
Yes,
young and viral.
Next,
is what we should look
next
like.
is going to be. I'm going to start putting. I think I have to go in for a whole bunch of plastic surgery and new parts and whatnot. Frame up restoration. So let me finish off my cola. That's totally not mixed with liquor.
Not mixed with liquor. But on today's show, we're going to update you on what's going on with the Dodgers so far this offseason.
Yeah.
We're going to give 2018 grades, the outfield edition. We did it last week, and we're going to do it again this week. And then also, for those of you watching live, what we're going to do a little later on, you let us know. We're going to be asking you, what one move do you think the Dodgers need to make this offseason? So don't let us know yet, but let us know in the show, and we'll let you know. But first, here is FRG.
And this is our welcome back and our sayonara segment. This is kind of the latest updates on who's in, who's out sort of thing.
Yes.
And like I said, the not first time through we did this, I was right, you were wrong. Hyunjin Ryu
100%.
is back. He accepted the qualifying offer, which is awesome. Again, like I said, he was never going anywhere. He's been hurt the better part of the last 4 years. He wasn't going to get more money than the $17.9 million. He wasn't going to get any years. He was electric when healthy last year.
He was.
This move makes a lot of sense for him. He wanted to be back in L.A., and now you have that stopgap in the rotation in 2019.
Yes.
And it's a fantastic, potentially ace-level stopgap.
Yeah, I mean, when he's fully healthy and he's pitching at Dodger Stadium, he has proven that he can be an ace.
Two-shoe.
Yeah.
Two-shoe.
This is two-shoe. Yes, that's a good agreement there. I like that.
But that's a touche and true at the same time, by the way. But
I do like that you put on your FRGM hat in order
Yes.
to figure that one out, though. That was good.
I'm not editing the video afterwards, so I can't.
Oh no,
pop
we're
it
not.
on.
So we can't pop that on.
That would be great. I missed that.
For all of you watching, just imagine the Pope hat just magically appearing on his head.
Oh wait.
There you go. Perfect.
But you look at that rotation now. The projected 2019 rotation.
Yes.
You got Kershaw, Buehler, Ryu, a very young 39-year-old Rich Hill, and then some sort of grab bag of Stripling or maybe Alex Wood, Kenta Maeda.
Yes.
Julio Urias needs to be in that rotation.
He does.
There's Caleb Ferguson. What are you going to do with him? Dennis Santana. There's a lot of names.
Yep.
So I would say definitely next week that's going to be probably our thing. Let's seriously
we'll delve into it. Yeah.
Deep dive. We're going to Google deep dive.
We're going to deep dive that rotation. I like it. So there's another guy who was given a qualifying offer. Yes, many other teams are going to be interested now because he decided he did not want that qualifying offer and is going to become a free agent, Mr. Grandal. Are we calling Mr. Grandal right now?
Yeah, I wanted to see if we can put Grandal. We're going to put Grandal on the phone and be like,
I was like, okay,
thank
that was
you
great.
for your service.
So, yes, we saw Grandal go ahead and turn down the qualifying offer, which makes a lot of sense for him. Everybody knows he's going to get it. He's the best catcher on the market, despite what many of you want to believe. And he's going to get a big multi-year deal from somebody, maybe Colorado, maybe the Yankees. There are a lot of teams with catching needs out there.
His possibilities are really endless.
Especially if he goes to, and this is always my thing, he's a guy that if he goes to an East Coast team, with those tiny little league ballparks.
He's a Hall of Famer
power,
in Baltimore.
Exactly.
Camden
that
Yards.
power plays up in those ballparks on the East Coast. So it makes a lot of sense for him to go out there. Plus, it allows the Dodgers to kind of look and see what we have in our own farm system.
Yeah, so we
have
have to find some sort of stopgap because I think all of us are in agreement that we can't rely on Austin Barnes as the guy, or at least we really hope not. So live via the phone, our good friend, Mr. SD Dodger, Tim, if you're nasty. We have him on the phone. Tim, how you doing?
I am nasty.
He's very nasty. We got that beautiful picture of him in that signed D Mountain jersey
That
up on the
pretty good.
screen.
Do like that.
So
you let us know if you like that in the comments below.
Tim, you're our Dodgers Nation resident expert on all things minor leaguers, to the lowest of the lows to the highest of the highs, and you can agree to that. You're on camera having agreed to that by saying nothing. But
tacit agreement.
You did just put out that article recently about what we have going on in the minor leagues in the catcher department. So what do you feel? A lot of people we've seen are like, oh, why don't they just bring up Ruiz, bring up those guys?
Yeah.
And I know you feel they're not quite ready.
Yeah, I agree. They aren't ready. And the other thing that we hear, and I didn't even mention in my article, is Kyle Farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Farmer has been basically told by the Dodgers, it seems like, you are not a catcher.
Yeah.
So I still see those Kyle Farmer things out there. Now to get to the good stuff. I got a chance to watch Ruiz on, during that AFL All-Star game, and it was beautiful. The way he received the ball, the way he had his at bats. He actually looks at some pitches. He can get a walk. He doesn't strike out that much. It's still Double-A level, but the trends that he has are very good. There's a little bit of arm strength issues, but it's not bad. It's just that's probably the biggest thing he could work on, and he probably does have Yasmani's speed, so we're not going to get anything good with that. But the other guys are different. Both Smith, Will Smith, the other Will, the third Will Smith.
Yeah.
The Fresh Prince of LA, hopefully.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a fantastic athlete. He's one of those guys that was can play the infield.
He's a little older, isn't he, Tim?
Yeah, he's a little older. He went to school. He went 3 years at it's Louisville.
Never go to school, kids.
Never go
to school. Be like Ruiz and sign at 16, and and he'll get an extra 3 years out of your major league career.
Yeah, it's never go to school. I'm Greg Bergman, and I approve this message.
So Tim, the issue that I've heard with Will Smith is that he can be a little spotty with his hitting. Is that kind of he's not super consistent?
It's definitely the case. I mean, and it seems like it's more of he goes to a level and he kind of dies for a bit, and then he kind of catches on. That was what happened in 2016. 2017 not so much, but this last year, he did okay in Double-A, and then he went to Triple-A and ended up hitting a robust Austin Barnes-ish 138.
Ooh, that's damn good.
Yeah. It's like, hey, all right, the guy fits right in. He's in terms of defensively, he's elite. There's a future there, and he can play a legit third base. I talked to his manager from 2017, Drew Saylor, about him, and he just the words he uses for electric and dynamic and all those types of things. So there's a lot of things there. It seems like he just starts slow. He also did rework his swing a bit to get more home runs, and so he started hitting more home runs last year.
Is he a launch angle guy now, or trying to make his way to it?
Probably. I know, it's like, the thing, it's like, okay, his strikeouts, I get concerned about that. Ruiz has not been affected by that, though. His strikeouts are, in the 40s or 50s for the season.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's what I saw. You kind of had. I don't know if it was you or somebody who had given you the sort of correlation between Ruiz and his childhood hero in Victor Martinez, and that's a fantastic comp. If you could have anywhere near the career of V-Mart, that's a good dude to have.
I would take that.
Yeah.
I would absolutely take that.
And I didn't talk about it enough, but it was something that Coach Saylor did talk about. That is his hero. It's a lot of things. If you look at it, if you go back and look at a little bit of V-Mart tape, it's going to be similar. They're both switch hitters. That's a nice thing, of course, about Ruiz. He is a switch hitter. Smith and then Connor Wong and the other guy, Cartaya. Righty.
Diego.
Now, Diego Cartaya, that's the guy that the Dodgers signed this year. He was considered the top international signing prospect of that 2018 period. So he's a big guy. What is he, 6'2", something like that? And he's already he's already a pretty advanced defensive catcher. So the thing is, though, he's 17.
He's like 17.
Yeah, 17 years old. Where would you rank him with all those other Dodger prospects at catcher that are already considered to be kind of elite prospects?
So in my order is I definitely go Ruiz first, and then I go Cartaya, and then I'll go. Yeah, no, I have my untouchables, and he's one of them. He's kind of getting to that point. The weird thing though about 17-year-olds is you don't know how they're going to actually fill out.
True.
They grow differently.
Walking away from that one.
Me too. Well, I already.
It's good that you guys both walk away from 17-year-olds. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Some of these
Fool me
guys,
once.
they start growing like Jock. Jock used to be fast, right?
Yeah.
He is not fast anymore because his lower half got. It's the way he's built. And so we don't know about these other guys. But
he went to booty boot camp.
I know.
For the ladies and the fellas.
Yes.
Smith and Wong are both fast. They're legit
and
fast.
they make a fine weapon.
Yes, they do. Yeah, I believe I had one of those as a 6-shooter, the Smith & Wong.
It fires. Was that producer? That's firing chopsticks, right? Producer.
Oh wow.
I'm leaving that alone.
Yep, I'm not going to touch that one.
Yeah. Whatever. No, but yeah, I mean,
moving on to Tim Rogers.
Yeah, Will Smith. He seems like the guy. I guess you would probably agree that he's the closest to the big leagues of all of them.
Yeah, he is. But and I've seen interviews with Friedman where he's talked about him being a candidate. He did have him up in September. He wasn't on the roster, but he was there to watch. So I think they're going to give him some type of a shot. I don't know how pissed off they are at Barnes for his season.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing about Smith, though, too, Tim, is it feels like he's kind of a multi-positional guy, which the Dodgers love.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody on this team is pretty much multi-positional.
And so is Wong. I've seen Wong quite a few times live, and he's the Quakes, they would platoon, but only one batting position, unlike we're 4 or 5. They did one, but usually when there was a lefty pitching, they would put Steve Berman behind the plate, and Wong would go to second base. And he was excellent at both positions.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's legit. So with both Wong and Smith, or especially with Wong, I think if he doesn't, if it's just too crowded, he's got that. He's got a second base possibility. He's got some good pop. Again, he seems to be launch angle-y with his strikeouts and things like that. And we can't have too many of those.
Yeah,
got really bad to watch.
It's the nature of the business these days. But I think that you can kind of look at, okay, it might stretch out and work over 162 or in some cases 163, but once you get into that World Series, it looks like you can get overmatched really easily if you have a bunch of dudes coming out and throwing 157 miles an hour at you.
Yeah.
Generally, yes.
Looking at you, Evaldi.
What's Barnes' philosophy is my question. I mean, geez.
Throw the bat somewhere and close your eyes and pray. I think that's kind of what Barnes was.
Barnes' philosophy is that little league kid that you put out in the outfield. Just please don't hit the ball to me. Please don't hit the ball to me.
Yeah.
He's basically just
Adam Sandler old
Please
bit.
don't throw a strike. Please don't throw a
50
strike.
miles an hour off the bat. You know, I mean, geez. Yeah, that's that big thing with Ruiz is I think that combination of, he's a little bit on the throwing is the one big thing, but the hitting and the fact that he's not going to get up there, he's not going to strike out 150 times a year. He's gonna like quality at bat, good at bats, all that crap that Doc likes to say. He's gonna bring that though, and so that was when I was watching that game, the commentators were very impressed with him too. They were talking him up pretty well too. They really liked what they saw, and it was just a walk and a single, but he also the way he was receiving and stealing some pitches and things like that looked elite.
And that'll play up even more so along the way. You come up and get up with the good big leaguers, the good big league coaches, hanging out with Boomer Yeager here and there, and that plays up a bit. So he's guaranteeing. You guys heard this here first. Tim Rogers guaranteed Keibert Ruiz 2018 or 2019 Rookie of the Year.
Yes,
2020 is what I'm going with.
Nope, I'm going
2015 Rookie of the Year. He's going back in time to take that award.
So I guess that's now the next thing. So we talked about just leading into this. Yasmani's gone. A lot of people want one of these guys to come up. We know they're not ready, and I'm not big on rushing somebody. Who do both of you guys here? And maybe even if producer has a say in this, who do you guys want as the stopgap? I mean, we could all but assure ourselves that Grandal's not coming back.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's names out there. Ramos is out there. Lucroy. Do we, pray and hope something out of Barnes? What do you guys feel?
I think if you're just going, obviously the ideal would be Real Muto, if we can make a trade, but that's a long-term guy. I think if you're going with just a stopgap until you get Ruiz, I'd like to see someone like a Maldonado. From the Astros.
What about with the Christmas season coming, Francisco Cervelli with Pittsburgh?
I like that. I saw someone had put together a really nice trade. It was Cervelli, and I think they were trying to get also their closer.
Yes.
And I mean, there's definitely I like Cervelli, and we've seen him
delicious.
We've seen him have.
As long as you have the right pasta sauce.
He's had some
amazing,
fantastic both offensive and defensive years. He's the perfect type of dude to settle in until our young boys are ready to come up and take the throne from him. I like Cervelli. That's if he's my number two, number two. He's my number two trade guy. If we can't go get Real Muto, let's bring in Cervelli.
I think everyone's got to be on the Real Muto board. I can't say his name.
Real Muto, if you
Real Muto.
If
everyone's on that train.
Real Muto.
Yeah.
The one I did look up, the things that the Dodgers care about, which is framing, and Real Muto and Cervelli, they weren't that high. In fact, they were pretty low.
But I'm sure they didn't have as many passed balls thanks to that lack of trying to snap some in. But, I mean, if you're looking for a framing guy, Barnes is still going to be around. You need him as the backup. Maybe even Farmer might start, strapping the gear back on again. But the good thing is, I've said in the last couple of episodes, Kevin, you've said the same thing. We have the ammunition to go get anybody we want. Essentially,
absolutely.
I just talked about the rotation, or the people that could make the rotation, maybe, or just on that outside. Alex Wood. Maybe you try to trade Maeda, even though I wouldn't do that. But Ferguson's a guy that's available. Maybe if you have to make yourself better. You don't need 15 starters. Well, I don't know. Dodgers sometimes do. They find their ways.
Sometimes you do need 15 starters, and you're right. We do have a top 10, farm system.
Yeah.
We can get whomever we'd like. Really, it's just up to what the front office wants to do. Do they want that stopgap? Do they want to invest in someone like a JT Realmuto? What do they want to do?
Yeah. So you guys heard that here first. Francisco Cervelli, Rookie of the Year, 2019.
Do it.
So what? I don't know. I guess are you good, Kev? You got anything else you want to add? No, I don't.
Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers. All right, Tim. Well, thank you for thanks for stopping by. A great article again. We'll try to relink it again. What do you want to say? Gary looks like he wants to say something. Producer man.
Oh, I already retweeted his article. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then we just retweeted the article.
So go check it out on.
Thank you, Gary.
Go follow
at Dodgers
no problem,
Nation.
Tim.
Go follow. SD Dodgers on
soon,
the or SD Dodger on the Twitter.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Take care, Tim.
All right, you guys too. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
All right.
All right, so what's going on in the off season thus far? We'd like to give you like a weekly what's happening.
What's happening?
What's happening? And the first one.
My button isn't making me go. I was trying to get us back to normal.
Oh,
there.
perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. I appreciate that.
This mouse, I got a new mouse, and it decides to like turn itself off after a second, and I'm not comfortable clicking it to reactivate it. And again, fantastic.
Are you
talk for
talking
the-
about Selena or your mouse?
Yes.
I'm curious as to what you're.
Yes.
All right.
Too soon.
So Mr. Walker Buelldog
Buell
fell
Doggy Dog.
just short in the Rookie of the Year. The Rookie of the Year race. There's a great article by Clint Evans on this on DodgersNation.com. But it was kind of expected.
Yeah, he for him to place third, he got most of the third place votes. It was
Yeah,
right. He
absolutely.
was that's what he was.
Yeah, and also that Cy Young that he wins is going to be
Yeah.
much sweeter here in
Yes.
the next couple years. So those
Should
multiple
we
Cy
put a
Youngs.
bet? Who wants a bet on that? $5 that he wins it this year. Do it. This is all the stream stuff. Whatever side it's on. That's Witness. I think it's on this. No,
It's on this side.
This side.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm confused. Anyway, no, but yeah, Ronald Acuna Jr. did go out and win it.
As he should have.
And if we're staying local, not Los Angeles, but Anaheim, Shohei Ohtani went out and won it for the AL side, which is right. The dude put up an insane year.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah,
when it comes to the bulk of being able to throw 51 elite innings and hit 22 home runs and only 350 some odd ABs.
Yeah, that was Hyunjin Ryuthian. That was pretty good.
I see what you did there.
All right, so there was another kind of developing story I want to say over the last day or so that you kind of made me aware in regards to the guy who got an F in my
Your F.
my F in my infield
grades
grades
from
last year, Mr. Brian Dozier. So let the audience know what happened.
So I mean, we heard a lot about the knee. There could be a barking problem with that knee, and we did also have an article that was put out. I think it was either an Evans or a Brook, but I guess before he actually came over to L.A., there was a pretty nasty bone bruise that he was dealing with in or around his knee, and
that was a Clint Evans article.
Yeah, as you can see that we see in his play, it severely limited him, at least with the bat.
Yeah,
defense was still on point for the most part.
during
he
the
seemed like
season
he could
was.
run.
Yeah. Well,
Also?
during the season, the defense was great.
Yeah.
We saw some great double plays with him and Manny, but the problem was when he played in the playoffs, it was bad. It was real bad.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it was.
Yeah, he seemed like he was a little more hesitant on some. Like he was
really
kind of
hesitant.
slow on the turn. That
Yeah.
maybe we missed one or two double plays.
And his batting,
But those aren't important in the World
not
Series.
at all.
Yeah.
And his hitting just kind of went down the
Yeah,
tubes
yeah.
after the first couple games.
Yeah, he had a nice RBI double in one of the series. I forget which, but other than that, he just you can tell something wasn't right.
Yeah, something felt off.
But still, I do feel that he's somebody I would throw a couple $1 million at. Not my own, just saying. Farhan, I'm going to hit him. Oh, too getting word too soon. But yeah, he's a guy that I'd possibly look at. I've said like $6 million plus incentives. Bring him back.
I can see that
because I don't feel comfortable relying on CT3 or Kike at second base.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think a 1-year prove-it deal is solid because I don't think he's going to get much out on the market right now.
1 year,
to be
maybe
honest
an
with you.
option.
Yeah, maybe a team option.
Plus, he's a good dude.
He is. He's a very good guy, and so you want to see him succeed. You want to see him back just because of his presence in the clubhouse. But I mean, if it really was, if that decline wasn't just age related and it really did have to do with an injury, I think he deserves a second shot
He's
back
a
with
year,
the team.
like a full season removed from a 42 home run campaign.
Exactly.
As a second baseman.
Yeah, which
Silver Slugger,
which would be helpful.
Former All-Star, I believe. Gold Glove winner. He's the guy we wanted for so long. Why not give him an actual fair shake?
True. I mean, and prior to this year's playoffs, his playoff batting average before that was 500. Granted, it was a one-game wild card game.
Plus,
and he went
we have
2 for 4.
All of those. We have all of those Welcome to Dozier Stadium shirts. We need to sell.
We do, and we don't want those to go in the bargain bin.
Yeah, it's great. It's stocking stuffer, guys. Go to DodgersNation.com/shop. Great stocking stuffer.
And then real quick,
sad news.
Some sad news. Rest in peace to Mr. Kenny Howell, who was a relief pitcher. For those of you that might not have been alive yet, he was a relief pitcher for the Dodgers in the 80s up until about 1990. He was on that 1988 World Series winning team. Solid arm out of the pen. later became a part of the coaching staff for the Dodgers.
Jay
Hare, very close to him.
Kenley Jansen owes most of his career to him. He was his bullpen coach, basically all the way up through 2015 until Kenny started getting more, dealing more with his symptoms, his diabetes symptoms and all that. And things just, it turned pretty hard for him. I mean, dude was a nice guy and, only 57. So it's pretty rough. But there's a nice article featuring a bunch of, different tweet links and all that from, again, our boy Clint Evans.
Yeah.
So check it out on the Dodgers
Who
Nation.
is the only writer, apparently, at Dodgers Nation.
Hey, he's going hard right now. You know what?
He apparently
He's
is.
out there.
So, all right. So earlier this year, our buddy Kike Hernandez squeaked out a victory in the sexiest Dodger of all time competition on Twitter, narrowly defeating Juan Uribe. So, what grade did FRG and I give him for his performance this year? What do you think it was? We'll tell you after the break.
Hey. We'll be right back, guys. Just like 30 seconds. Okay, bye. So 2018 grades. We're moved on to the outfield. Of course, last week, if you guys missed it, we did the infield. So go check that out on either our live stream, past live stream, or, of course, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and
DodgersNation.com,
all
iTunes.
that stuff. Yeah.
You can check it out.
So
we're just as fun to listen to as we are to stare at. Yes. That's more accurate.
There you go.
All right, well, let's start off.
Beautiful face for radio.
You okay with starting off with Kike? I know you're generally not usually prepared about anything. So what do you think?
Kike, I guess I can go for Kike. Him and I, we have some beef.
You do.
Just saying.
Well, we're trying, and for those of you out there watching us, we're really trying to make FRG the ring bear for
FRG for ring bear.
For Kike's wedding, exactly. Hashtag FRG for ring bear. And it's not ring bearer, it's ring bear. So FRG would dress up in a big bear costume and bring the ring down the aisle.
Or a small bear costume.
Or a tiny bear costume, because fat guy in a little bear costume
or
is
as Bear Grylls.
Hilarious.
I'm dressing up as Bear Grylls.
I don't know that anybody's going to understand that.
Better drink my own piss. I'm bringing the meme back, the 2012 meme.
I like it.
It was a good meme. I did not make the meme.
Kike Hernandez, what's your grade?
Oh, man. So I really hate the grade I gave him, even though he was kind of deserving of it.
Okay.
I gave him a B-.
Okay.
Probably high, but again, we're trying to be friends. But I really do feel that a complete game, he's probably more of, I'm changing it. Live on the spot, C+.
Yes.
I'm going C+.
All right.
Because a complete game is better than power. I'd rather see him. And granted, I mean, he got his average up to like 250-ish, 254? Yeah. I mean, and that was after he was down, around 210, 215 for a good while. Of course, it completely eroded in the playoffs, but that's not what this is about. These are about what they did in the regular season. And
mine are actually about the playoffs, too. So.
See,
we discussed this last week.
But
you're doing regular season. I'm doing regular season plus playoffs.
It's season grades, not playoff grades. And I mean, whatever. I mean, as long as you keep it consistent.
It's wildly inconsistent.
No, that was Yasmani, but he's gone now.
Yes.
But yeah, I want to see. It's not even on screen.
Oh.
All right, go and give us your
well-oiled machine.
Go ahead and
people.
give us.
Well-oiled machine.
Sorry, the hand.
Thing did
there
not.
You go. There's the hand.
Do his job.
On the stream, as we can see, he's spinning the little fidget spinner. We got a Kershaw fidget spinner here. Actually, that's perfect timing because I do want to mention our friends over at Forever Collectibles or Foco.com, but Twitter and Instagram at Foco USA. They got some pretty cool stuff. We have. Apparently, it was sent to the wrong address, but we have this cool Dodger Stadium Lego set coming. We have this Kershaw we see over here on the set. More stuff. We gave away one of those Kershaws. We gave away a Puig at our live event.
We did.
But more cool stuff
and a Dodger
coming.
Stadium T-shirt.
And a Dodger Stadium T-shirt. but cool stuff. Only good stuff from at Foco USA.
Yes.
They're shared with the Movida.
So I gave Kike, oddly enough, a B.
Oh.
So I gave Kike a B because for a multitude of factors. So
I would hope.
Yes.
Because I threw a dart at a board.
I gave him a B because that was the first thing that popped in my head. I gave him a B because of his ability to play
everywhere,
which is incredibly impressive, because of his above-average defense pretty much everywhere on the field.
Yes.
As you mentioned, he hit 256, 21 home runs, 52 RBIs, 806 OPS.
Crushed his career high in home runs.
Oh, my God. Yeah, not even close. The playoffs, he definitely fell off a bit. So if he had kept up that pace in the playoffs, I would have probably given him a B+ or an A. But the playoffs, he hit 123, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and a 492 OPS. And his defense was a little suspect as well. He just seemed completely off. Horrible approach at the plate. So it was just a tale of two seasons, essentially, is what it felt like.
It kind of felt like finally that the 2017 hangover struck in the 2018 playoffs.
Yeah, because the Dodgers had kind of overcome more adversity in 2018, and then the playoffs came around, and they looked good against the Braves, and then we hit the Brewer series and somehow beat them despite looking terrible on offense. And then that unfortunately caught up with us because we played a great team in Boston, and you can't get past that. But I gave Kike a B for the season.
Reasonable. So
I've got to move on to a somewhat more polarizing figure, a Mr. Mattie Kemp.
Oh, I remember when we had a nice Matt Kemp figurine that was on the desk. Stan, thanks, Stan. We had a casualty here in our Dodgers Nation Blue Heaven studios.
Yeah, you might be noticing that we're missing Mr. Matt Kemp.
It was Mr.
Rihanna, Matt Kemp.
Mystery Anna. Yes.
Mystery Anna. So with Matt Kemp, for him it was absolutely a tale of two halves.
Oh yeah.
Because the first half of the season he was the MVP of the league.
100%.
The second half of the season he was that guy that you called up from the minors who's getting his one shot and is never going to be back. So
you're Rob Segedin, if you will.
You're Rob Segedins of the world.
This is your callback. People are like, who is that?
Exactly.
What is a Rob Segedin?
You're Justin Ruggiano, if you will.
Oh, man. You're Marlon Anderson.
Marlon Anderson. Well, Marlon Anderson had one good game. So with Kemp, I gave him a B-.
Okay, that's good.
Because he gets an A for the first half of the season. He gets an F for the second half of the season. And then he gets like a D for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So during the regular season, he ended up hitting 290, had 21 home runs, 85 RBIs, 818 OPS. That feels like a resurgent season. Then in the playoffs, he went 187, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 589 OPS. Looked a little better, oddly enough, in the World Series than he did in the previous 2 rounds of the playoffs.
Yeah, he was locked in. He wanted it. He looked good swinging in cold weather, and BP went deep first AB against Sale.
Yeah. He looked comfortable. He looked better than he had earlier. So that kind of gives me hope because the thought was maybe we're going to DFA Kemp. But you know what? I think if you can not burn him out and platoon him somewhere, he's going to retain that effectiveness and keep him away from the cupcakes. He's going to retain that effectiveness over the course of the season and then into the
I was seeing that boy crush cupcakes
into the playoffs. FRG, what'd you give Matt Kemp?
First, we got to give a producer's opinion. What was his grade on cupcake crushage?
Man, he was going back and forth past that cupcake table.
He went from cupcakes
picking 3 to 4 at a time
to the bakery one. What was the bakery again?
I think it was Dots.
No, the one
Porto's.
Porto's, yeah, there was
Oh,
Porto's, and then
Porto's
he
is so
went
good,
back.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah, one end was the bar.
Yeah.
And then the other end was Porto's.
That's
And
where-
in between was a table for dots.
that's where I kept going back to the bar, and you went to the Michelada table.
Right.
Camp kept going to the cupcake
So
table.
we were just passing each other all
Yeah,
night.
it was fun. He's a large boy, like he's tall, but also we can
Big
tell he's getting
boy.
bigger. Anyway, Camp for me, I guess I kind of flipped him here. I give him like an overall kind of incomplete, but generally, yeah, I gave him a B.
Okay.
First half MVP, like you said, MIA in the second half, straight up. And I mean, you said it perfectly. He was just straight up running to the ground. Like same
Agreed.
Same
Yeah.
thing happened with JT. There wasn't enough rest given to the older veterans.
Yeah.
You know, if they're
Yeah.
in their if they're 32, 33, they probably need a little bit more rest. Like, yeah, I was actually I had this as a note to bring up on an old show a while back, but like,
Okay.
isn't it funny how these days, flashback, whatever, 15, maybe 20 years ago, how everybody, he's only 38, that's fine. You had Sosa still in the league, Bonds is still in the league,
Yeah.
whatever.
Still hitting 40, 50 home runs.
Moises Alou was still playing and all that. Like,
I
and
think
yeah, and they're
Felipe
still
Alou
just,
was still playing.
still managing at the very least. But it's so funny. Now we're looking at dudes when they're like 34 and they're like, oh, the poor guy.
Yeah.
How can he manage day to day? You want to know how? Or I guess you could say, how could they manage back in the day? It's a little thing called HGH. And
Yeah.
we're going to tell you all about it, kids. And oh wait, no, we didn't.
Steroids are a hell of a drug.
We didn't nail down that HGH sponsor.
FRG used to be 115 pounds, and steroids now, he is a beefcake.
I'm a big boy. Big cake, big cake.
All right, well, let's.
Just run him into the ground. You would like to see that change. You'd like to see better depth, but better utilized depth throughout
Yes.
the regular season in 2019. And I think Doc will be more aware of what he's doing to his players.
I hope so.
You could ride the hot hand, just don't burn the hot hand into the ground.
Yeah. Ride the horse that's winning, but don't let it break its legs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Give it a rest occasionally.
Oh man, that was one of my favorite quotes by Warren Beatty.
Yeah.
that's the guy.
That was a Jack London poem, I believe.
Okay. You want to go Puig now? Or are
actually,
you not
I
on
want to
Puig?
wait on Puig.
Okay, that's good.
I want to go with the smartest man on the team, Mr. Jock Peterson.
Oh, yeah. He
New father.
calculus whiz,
Mathemagician.
mathemagician, astronomics. He does them all, guys. I tells you. Like these days, you catch him and his dog Blue hanging out over at
Astrolonomer.
he's hanging out at the bar doing like question night. What do they call those things?
Oh, trivia night.
Trivia night.
Yeah,
there you
pub
go.
trivia.
Yeah, same difference. That's his night. All the
His
time
team
he's
is
like,
called Jock Peterson.
You know on Saturday Night Live the guy who their interpretation of the less inclined to intelligence Trump's son. Which one is that?
All of them?
That's fair. Anyway, that he just reminds me of that guy, the way he plays the other Trump son. Anyway,
He's the guy who on Players Weekend, Jock Peterson, they ask him, okay, what's your nickname on there? Jock Peterson.
no, that was Caleb Ferguson. He was Caleb Ferguson. For
He
a
was
little
Caleb Ferguson.
I digress. Peterson, I gave him a B-.
right.
Impressive comeback because he was somebody 90% of Dodgers Nation was screaming, DFA, can we send him to the minors? Can we just trade him for Mike Trout? Actually, that all kind of – pretty sure we got a lot of those.
We got a lot of people asking us to trade Jock for Mike Trout. If you can make that happen, you deserve to be Dodgers GM.
I have that. Whenever we do get a GM type on the show, I have that. Like, if you can turn off fair trades, that's one of my questions. What's the first move you would do? I would send Kyle Farmer to the Angels for Mike Trout. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's not a bad move.
Well, Farmer to the Angels, and then Angels send back Trout and cash. Just saying. But yeah, I mean,
Trout and Ohtani.
Petey started out the year so bad. His
Yeah.
defense was still pretty good, but man, he turned it around, and he ended up with 25 of his 26 home run season.
Yeah.
I mean, dude was good. He was also pretty damn good in the playoffs. The strict platoon really worked for him, and also maybe we should start him out in spring training a little bit earlier so he can start the season good.
I agree. I think maybe over the offset. So my thing with Jock, I gave him a C+.
Okay.
Hit 248, 25 home runs. He had 56 RBIs, 843 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs, he fell off a bit, though. 200, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, 629 OPS. Not terrible.
Yeah.
Especially compared to what the rest of the team looked like.
The comparison gets a team, yeah.
Pretty good. But My thing with Jock is over the offseason, he needs to face nothing but left-handers in practice because he cannot hit lefties, and it minimizes his effectiveness because he's very good with the glove. You want him in that lineup because he can change the outcome of a game with a swing. He's got a lot of power. He's got that violent swing. He's kind of fixed that swing and that kind of approach at the plate, so he looks a lot better now. Much like you pointed out, much better later in the season than he was earlier in the season. But he needs to be able to hit a lefty at least once in a while. Because he is absolute garbage against left-handed pitchers, and that needs to change. So real quick, before we get to the Puigermeister,
Puigenheimer,
we want to go to a guy who didn't play a ton, but is a big part of the future of the team, Alex Verdugo.
Doogie, yeah.
What did you feel like from what you saw out of Verdugo this year? He only had 77 at bats.
Yeah, I didn't grade him because he's more of an incomplete.
He's an incomplete.
His first time up, I think he was really playing like, if I play well, I could get this position.
Yeah.
And to be honest, he played well enough to earn the position, but they were never really giving him an honest, fair shake of it. The next time he came up, he was probably pressing. He was like, whatever, they're not going to go with me either way. Who cares? But I like him. He's the guy I want to see in there in 2019. Like if we have a choice between like Kemp and him, give me Verdugo.
Yeah,
Verdugo is probably the best center fielder in the behind Bellinger when he's not being wishy-washy. He's probably the best center fielder in the at least in the upper system. DJ Peters is supposed to be amazing and all that, but I like
the most major league ready center fielder that we have.
Yes. Correct. What'd you give him?
I also gave him an incomplete. I think he's a part of the future. I think next year maybe we don't necessarily start him every game. But I think his bat plays up. I think a lot of people are going to get frustrated with him because he's not a big power guy.
Yeah.
But he's a contact guy. He's a guy that will get on base.
Needs.
That's what we need right now.
We don't need another 25 home run and 250 guy.
He's a slap hitter with great defense, with absolute plus defense, great glove. He's a guy. I think what we do is we platoon him next year. Early on, and then really let him build up his confidence. Make it clear in spring training, hey, if you play well, you're on the team. You're on the big club.
You want to platoon him to start out, though?
I'd probably platoon him to start out just because you got to give Bellinger some at bats.
They're both lefty though.
Yes, but I'm still saying, but Bellinger is
more
another
so
guy
who
more so exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because Verdugo doesn't have those hard right-left splits. Bellinger does. Bellinger's like Peterson. They have those hard right-left splits. So with Verdugo, you could throw him in against left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
And it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think he should be starting against all-handers until he really, really proves that he can't.
Is that the all-handers the guys that have like the 5 hands and it's all
basically he needs to be facing Pat Venditti.
Octopus.
Pat Venditti all the time.
Every single time he goes out there.
He didn't say which arm. I'm throwing with both. Both of them 95 on the paint.
I like it.
What do I hit? Seems like it'd be easier. You have more opportunity. It's two balls.
You would imagine.
Two balls are better than one to batters. Walk away from it, comrade. Walk away.
My doctor told me something wrong then. All right.
I guess we can go with another incomplete guy. I don't know if you got Tolles on there. Did you get Tolles?
I didn't get Tolles. He also gets an incomplete. And that's the problem. I love Andrew Tolles. Every time he's up, he's good. He's exactly what we could have used in this lineup in the playoffs and the World Series.
Yes.
It's always disappointing.
I would have much rather saw both of them over, Peterson trying to figure it out in the playoffs or whoever else it may have been.
Yeah.
Like, those guys were maybe a little bit. I saw, I've talked about it a number of times. I saw Tolles. Tolles was locked in.
Yeah, he was.
The bell tolled for not thee, unfortunately.
No, he's the guy that you want, and his limited playoff experience, he was good.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, you just really hope he can stay healthy because that just feels like we're getting to the point where this is a make or break season coming up for Andrew Tolles. If he can't stay healthy, there's no reason to keep him in the organization.
Yeah, exactly. Even so, if you're not going to give him a fair shake, give him a chance, then don't keep him in the organization.
That too.
Yes.
He's too talented to keep in the minors. All right, moving on.
Did you get CT3 or
because
you did him as a?
I used up CT3 last week, so if you wanted to grade him, specifically
again,
as an
I think I
outfielder.
give him the C again. Bellinger still again. We're running again with the B- because it was a good year that never felt that good. I don't know if I want to see him stick to first base, honestly. Yeah. But the calls, that's Farhan. Oh, again. Puig.
Yasiel Puig.
Is Puig your friend?
Puig is my friend. Puig, this regular season,
Puig very sad.
I gave him an A. I gave Puig an A. Puig hit 267, 23 home runs, 63 RBIs, 820 over the course of the season. Also, very good defensive outfielder. Very, very good. In the playoffs, Yasiel Puig, 305, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, 847 OPS. He improved in the playoffs. He turned it on, and he was good with the glove. Puig is, and he's the emotional spark plug of the team. This is a guy that we need, and I know he polarizes a lot of Dodger fans for some reason, but I love Yasiel Puig.
Yep.
I think he's one of the better players on the team, and he's a guy that steps up when we need him to.
Yeah, you just saying that, him stepping up. I relived, unfortunately, Game 4, and it just made me sad. That was such a just painful game. Game 4 was like all of the 2017 World Series, honestly. But
yeah. Or like Game 5 of the 2017 World Series.
Puig, I gave him a B-, mostly because of his odd reverse splits.
Okay.
Couldn't hit left-handed pitching, even though he's always generally crushed them. I'm happy, and I'm hopeful Puig does come back. I still think he might end up being part of a trade bait to bring in somebody else, which is unfortunate. But
unless it brings us back Trout, I don't want him to go.
But yeah, he's our guy. He's always going to be our guy. He needs to be here, and just it would be so odd to see Puig in like a red.
Yeah, I don't want to see Puig in a uniform that doesn't say Dodgers. Really don't want to see him in a black and orange uniform.
Ooh, yes.
Neither does anybody who likes the black and orange uniforms. I think Puig has to remain a Dodger. I think he deserved the A for this year.
Reasonable.
The A for effort.
California Public Schools.
El Rancho.
El Rancho's
education.
finest. All right, guys. So we asked you earlier in the stream. I don't think. Do you have some of those put aside for us, producer? Because we're going to give you. We're going to give you our one move that we think the Dodgers need to make. So last week, like we said, we did the wish list. This time, it's moves that they need to make this offseason. Go ahead and lead us off. That guy, go ahead and lead us off. I was talking to you.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. So my move, and I'll justify it here. Joe Kelly.
All right.
Sign
Moving on.
Joe Kelly.
Future
yeah,
friend
I
of the
actually
show.
agree with our producer thing. Joe Kelly.
Give us a wave thing.
I don't have an answer.
Well, Joe Kelly has a 5-pitch repertoire. He's got a 4-seam fastball that he throws at 99 miles an hour that actually induces more ground balls than fly balls, which is rare for a 4-seam fastball, especially from a fireballer like that. He throws an 85-mile-an-hour curve using a knuckle curve grip. So it's got it's thrown hard.
A real knuckle curve.
A real knuckle curve grip. Thrown hard, has great movement. Throws an 88-mile-an-hour slider that has an extreme number of ground balls compared to an average slider. He throws an 88-mile-an-hour changeup, which is a bona fide strikeout pitch because he's throwing it 11, 12, 13 miles an hour slower than his fastball. And then he's got a sinker at 98 miles an hour that doesn't actually have much sink to it, but it's stupid fast.
Yeah, I was watching the World Series too.
Yeah. We were all there.
We were all there.
Thanks,
So
Kev.
as much as I hate Joe Kelly because of Hanley Ramirez in 2013, I still think this is the move to make right now, and not signing Hanley Ramirez.
What?
Hashtag hot take. Hashtag
Hot Take
analysis.
City by Kevin there for sure. My move, I think we're both just kind of regurgitating what we had on our wish list. Our wish list is more so need list. We need to get primetime bullpen help, which is what
Deion
you're
Sanders?
saying. Which is yes, Deion Sanders, bringing him in prime time, making a comeback as a pitcher. Like I mentioned last week, 2 names: Zach Britton or an Andrew Miller. Those are still a couple guys that have some gas in the tank. Really power out getting left-hand pitchers. I like the idea of one, or why not just both of them, or sign them both like 3 times, just multiply them. I think you can do that. I mean, why not? We're blue heaven. Do what I say.
Can we start cloning people too? Is that a thing?
I think they're working on that.
All right.
Yeah, they're working on that in Colorado, I believe. Not the Rockies, but just generally in Colorado. I mean, if not, the next tier would be like a Joe Kelly, or maybe like David Robinson, the guy who's closed off and on for
Admiral?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Daniel Robinson, then. No. Robinson Crusoe.
For those of us watching on Facebook, we apologize. I guess the stream has just been really bad.
Blame Facebook.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
it.
that's not our fault, unfortunately. That's Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah, so
It happens.
suck at Facebook. All right, go ahead.
Things become things. So do you have anything on your side there, Mr. Producer?
Yeah, most people are agreeing with you guys about bullpen help. One guy said, Real Muto, but I think you guys brainwashed them.
Correctly brainwashed.
But yeah, most of the fans, it's bullpen.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I think it's
The consensus right there.
Again, we would love Real Muto, but
I think we can survive. We can manage without him. There
Yeah.
are